Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name remains Okoriwo Mwabeze. In today's section of the class, I will explain the concept of undefined expression. I will put it to you that this is among the simplest topics in mathematics. But you have to ask yourself, why is it that students always fail in undefined expression? Well, the answer to that is many don't understand the difference between undefined expression and when expression is said to be zero. When expression is said to be zero is different from when expression is undefined. So when you ask them to find the value of x or find the value of y for which the expression is said to be undefined, you see the students solving for when the expression is equal to zero. So in today's section of the class, I will explain that concept and make you to understand how to get rid of such problems. Now you begin to ask yourself, what is undefined expression? Because if you don't understand the meaning of undefined expression, everything I will say will be absolutely useless. But to understand the fact behind undefined expression, let me take you to the word undefined. Most of the times, when you punch in values in calculators, what it gives us is undefined as an answer. At times, you punch in some values in calculators, it gives you a normal value as an answer. The question is, what can we do to prevent calculator from giving us undefined as an answer? And what can we do that could force calculator to give us undefined as an answer? The truth is, if I should come here and write a over b, this a over b is a fraction. The one on top is numerator, and the one below is denominator. So, even if I like, I can write it b over a. If I write b over a, this becomes numerator, this becomes denominator. Now when I give you 4 over 2, the 4 is the numerator, 2 is the denominator. Calculator returns 2 as answer to you. You punch 100 over 25, calculator returns 4 to you. Now, you punch 8 over 0, calculator returns undefined. Calculator writes undefined. Some calculator can write not found. Now, supposing we take this 0 above. When you take 0 above, it becomes 0 over 8. Calculator will return 0 to you as answer. From what I have given you guys here, it is very, very obvious to note that anytime 0 becomes the denominator, calculator will tell you either not found or math error. You can also write math error, depending on the calculator you are using. Your calculator can display undefined, it could display math error, it could also display not found. So these are the likely response the calculator will give you. But when 0 is at the numerator and we have another number at the denominator, calculator will surely give you an answer that is not any of these. In mathematics, a function of x all over b function of x is said to be undefined. If this is undefined, it means that b function of x is equal to 0. So which means I'll write a function of x all over. This b function of x is 0. I'll put this. I use it to replace. So this becomes undefined. I'll walk you guys the various ways question can come out regarding this undefined expression. So you have this. The question has been given to you. It says, for what value of x is the expression this not defined? Not defined is something as saying undefined. Like I said, when you write solution, there are factors that you must consider before you attempt to solve this question. The first factor is consider the denominator. You have to consider the denominator. And the denominator here is x minus 5. That's the denominator. Now, since we have considered it, we'll also check if the denominator is factorizable. If the denominator is something that we can factorize, we'll factorize it before attempting to solve the question. If it cannot be factorized, we'll continue to solve the question. But you must confirm if the denominator is factorizable. Now, in this regard, going with respect to the question on the board, what we're going to say is, if you look at this, our interest now is this. Since this is the denominator and this cannot be factorized, this is the lowest term that this expression can go. It can't be factorized. So we are good to go to use this. So what's going to be is, would I say that for this guy to be undefined, our interest is at the denominator, not at the numerator. Some students will make the mistake. When you give them this, they will equate x squared plus 15x plus 50 to 0. And it is not so. If you attempt such, it means that you are no longer solving undefined what? Expression. Now, what we are going to do, since our interest is at the denominator and not at the numerator, it means that we are going to get x minus this, x minus 5 equal to 0. This is the only condition that will make this question to be undefined. Now, what we are going to do is, if you collect like terms here, we'll find out that x will be 0 plus 5, and our x is nothing but 5. So it is only when x as a variable is 5 that this question will be undefined. That this question, calculator will not have answer for it. Now, if you want to check it, x is 5. If you come here and put 5, this is x, we'll put 5 there. 5 minus 5 is 0. Now, this whole question, all over 0, is undefined. Whenever the denominator is 0, calculator has no idea with what the answer could be. That is why the closest response it can give you is nothing but what? Undefined. This is another question regarding undefined expression. But this type of question requires you to have an idea of quadratic what? Equation. If you know how to solve quadratic equation, you are good to go. You can approach quadratic equation using formula method, completing the square method, factorization method, even graphical method. For the purpose of this class, I will use factorization method to solve this stuff. If you have no idea of quadratic equation, well, stay tuned to my channel. I will soon make video in regards to that. Now let's proceed. When we write solution to this, because the question says for what value of y is the expression undefined. Now what is going to be is, like I said, consider the denominator. This is our denominator. Now, we check if the denominator can be factorized. The denominator can be factorized because this denominator has squared. It has squared, so which means the denominator is not in its lowest term. So we need to bring it down to its lowest term. The way we can do this is approaching quadratic what? Equation. Now, what we are going to do is, I have to factorize the denominator first. We factorize y squared minus 3y minus 10. So here I won't teach you how to factorize, but like I said, I'll make video with regards to that. Just keep in touch with me anyway. Now we have this. It's gonna be, if you factorize this, you're going to get y squared minus plus 2y minus 5y minus 10. Because what is there is that when you are factorizing, your interest is to get rid of the second term. And here the second term is minus 3y. And the only way we can get rid of it means that we have to bring in another term that will make it 4 terms. We have just 3 terms, first term, second term, and third term here. So it means that we must first of all multiply this with this. Y squared times minus 10 will give you minus 10 y squared. Now we'll ask ourselves, what are the two numbers that when we multiply, they will give us minus 10y squared? And when we add, the same two numbers will give us minus 3y. And we'll find out that the two numbers are plus 2y and minus 5y. So if you know quadratic equation, you don't have problem with this. But if you don't know quadratic equation, just calm down. I will make video regarding quadratic equation and you will simply understand every bit of it. Now what we're going to get here will be, we'll put brackets, or we'll put bracket to separate this. We'll factorize the inside bracket. What is common here is y. It becomes y plus 2. We'll bring down the minus. What is common here is 5. We'll factorize it to have y plus 2 as well. We'll take these numbers, we'll take the terms that are outside the bracket. We'll have y minus 5. Put them in one bracket and take any of these. So therefore, it implies that y squared minus 3y minus 10 is the same thing as this. These guys are the same. So in a nutshell, this question, y plus 2 all over y squared minus 3y minus 10 is the same thing as saying y plus 2 all over, I will now use this to replace this. We're going to get y minus 2, y minus 5 rather, and y plus 2. So if we get something like this, since these two guys are the same because we have factorized, there is multiplication going on here. Since there is multiplication going on here, we can cancel this and cancel this. They are the same. When we do that, we now get 1. 1 is over here. 1 over what is left at the denominator is y minus 5. This one has been cancelled. So this is what is left. So for this expression now, it means that we have reduced this giant stuff to this. So since we have reduced this to this, we'll have to work with this guy. And the only way that the expression can be undefined is if we consider the denominator. The denominator is y minus 5. So if it's undefined, y minus 5 will certainly be 0. When we collect like terms, here, y will become 5 plus 0, and absolutely y is nothing but 5. Absolutely. So in this example, the question says find the values of x for which the expression is undefined. So in this question, you have to find the values of x which will make this entire expression to be what? Undefined. I told you that the first step you should take is consider the denominator. Our interest is focused only on the denominator. We have no interest at the numerator, which is 6x minus 1. That is not our concern. Our concern is at the denominator, since it is our concern. Now, when we consider the denominator, we find out that the denominator is not in its lowest term. That means the denominator can be factorized. So the first thing we do here is to factorize the denominator. Now, we just have to write solution. After writing this, we say factorize this denominator, which is x squared plus 4x minus this. So when we factorize this, it then implies that x squared plus 4x minus this is equal to x squared plus 5x minus ox minus 1. Now we are going to cover it with brackets. So I'm not going to explain how I derive this. This is not factorization problem. When we get to factorization problem, I will come down to explain it. Now, in this regard, what we are going to do is we have to factorize the values inside the bracket. We have x is common there. X squared divided by this will give us x. Plus 5x divided by this will give us plus 5. We bring down this minus sign. The only thing that is common between x and minus 5 is 1. So we'll put our brackets. This divided by this will give us x. Minus 5 divided by this will give us plus 5. Now we need to take this, the values outside the bracket, to put them inside one bracket. Then we'll have x minus 1 and take any of these values that are common. We'll have x plus 5. So this implies that this question, which is 6x minus 1, is the same thing as this question, 6x minus 1 over x squared plus 4x minus 5, is the same thing as saying 6x minus 1 all over this, x minus 1 in bracket x plus 5. When we must have looked at this, we'll find out that this cannot cancel. When we look at this, we find out that none of these can be cancelled. We have 6x minus 1. We don't have any occurrence of it at the denominator, so it can't cancel. The former question that I gave you, the previous question that I gave you, it cancelled. But in this type of question, it did not cancel. Now, since you have tried your best to factorize it, the remaining part is we are still concerned on the denominator. What you're going to do is, for this denominator, which is x minus 1 in bracket x plus 5, to be undefined, x minus this denominator must be equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, it means that the first bracket is x minus this equal to 0, or the other one, which is x plus 5, we equate it to 0. If we solve for x for each one, our x here will surely give you 1 when we collect like terms, or our x here will give you minus 5 when we collect like terms. So these two values, either 1 or minus 5. Anytime x is 1 or minus 5, this entire question or expression must be surely undefined. You have to stay tuned for more word videos, and also please keep sharing these videos, like and comment, keep sharing it to your friends, and come back for more videos. Thank you.